to the online class, and today in this class we will have the explanation of lesson number 1 from our English textbook Flamingo. Before getting into the explanation, let us have the introduction of the characters who are the main characters of this lesson. We have two main characters in this lesson. The first important character is Franz. He is a schoolboy. He is the protagonist of the story. Even though he is a schoolboy, but he do not like to go to school, nor he is serious about his studies. For him, books are burdensome and difficult to carry. And the second important character is Mr. Hamel, who is the French language teacher. He rendered his 40 years service in that same school. He is also considered to be strict and cranky, traditional teacher. So let us have the background and the context of the story. It was during 1870 Franco-Prussian War. Two districts of France came into the hands of German powers. This story deals with the theme of language imposition and language loyalty. Not only that, this also highlights about the pain of enslaved people when their right of speaking, learning their own language is taken away from them. So let's start. Franz, who is a schoolboy, he is getting ready for the school. He is already late. It's because he was unwilling to go to the school. Now, why he was unwilling to go to the school? Because Mr. Hamel, who is his French language teacher, had given him the assignment. The assignment or the homework that was to learn about the participles. But Franz, he does not know any single word about participles. So that is why he is afraid to go to school. Bulletin board that displayed the current news, that displayed the instructions and the orders which were given by the German government. Now there were crowd around that bulletin board. Now Franz, when he saw this multitude or crowd, he was surprised. And he said to himself, now what could be the bad news? But he was already late for the school. He did not stop there. He continued to move on. Now at this time, Watcher, who was a blacksmith, he shouted or he said to Franz that he will have the plenty of time to get to the school. Franz, he was moving very fast and he did not have the time to stay there, and he thought that Watcher was making fun of him. But he moved fast. However, he reached the school garden. There was a little garden in front of the school. Now, as he reached that little garden of the school, he noticed something unusual that day. So, what was unusual on that day? It seemed to him that he arrived at the school on a Sunday morning. Now, see here, the atmosphere of regular school is compared to the atmosphere of Sunday. That means when school generally begin, there were a lot of noises that came out of the school. There were a lot of commotions in the school. clamor in the school that can be heard from a far distance. So this morning, when Franz reached the garden, he could not hear any such kind of noises. These noises includes the opening and the closing of bench and desk, the movement of furnitures, rapping of ruler on the table by the teacher, students learning the lesson in unison that means in unity or in all together. So these noises can be heard from a far distance. But what happened today when he arrived at the school? He was not able to listen. All the students are sitting at their respective places and Mr. Hamill is moving in the class. Now, Franz thought that he would enter into the class without being noticed in the midst of this commotion and hustle and bustle. But now his plan is failed. There is no option left with him to enter into the classroom in front of all his classmates, friends and Mr. Hamill. So he sought the permission, he get into the classroom, and then after a while he noticed something unusual here in the classroom. As he turned back and looked at the back side of the class, he was able to see the villagers who were sitting at the back benches of the class. What a surprise! He was surprised to see the villagers in the class, and the next thing again he noticed that was Mr. Hamill. He was wearing his Sunday clothes that he used to wear on special occasions. So these two things were very amazing or amazed Franz. Now, Mr. Hamill, he gets up from his chair and he make a startling announcement. He says that, children, today is the last French lesson that he is going to deliver. Henceforth, no French lesson will be taught in the school, and this is the order passed by the German government. So this would be the last class. On hearing this startling announcement by Mr. Hamill, Franz realized and understood that this was the news that was displayed on the bulletin board, and this was the news that the people were talking about in the crowd, and therefore the crowd was accumulated around the bulletin board. Now therefore the watcher said that you will get to the school in time, in plenty of time. Now, that's not good. But now, after this startling announcement, when he realized that no longer he will be able to learn French language in the school, he was shocked, he was surprised. Now, his feeling towards the school changes. Now his feeling towards Mr. Hamill, his French language teacher, changes. Now his feeling towards the books and studies changes. And now he regrets for not being serious in his studies. Students, we will continue the next part in the next class. Till then, goodbye, take care and be safe. Thank you.